when I say I am fat. It's not bad, like it just is. And so it's quite nice to be in this place because for so long it was something that I desperately didn't want to be, something that I didn't want to be associated with, something that I tried so hard to avoid. And now I'm like, I'm fat. And I can say that and it's neutral.
My name's Meaghan. I'm the marketing coordinator here at SÜK.
Kia ora. I am Maria. I am a facilitator, a trainer, a podcast host, and a craft enthusiast.
My name's Sam Van Zweden. I'm a writer from Melbourne. I'm interested in food and memory and mental health, and I'm also one half of the team behind A+ Market.
My name's Samantha. I am part of the production team at SÜK, and I am a pattern maker and a fit model.
When I thought I was fat and when I actually became fat are like two different things. I was trying on clothes that had fit me like a month or two before, and they started to cut in. And I wanted to cut off bits of my body to fit into these clothes.
I think maybe I was 12 or 13 when the idea first came up. You hit puberty and I got chubby, and people around me sort of said, don't worry, it's just puppy fat. And the idea is you'll grow out of it, and the implication is if you don't, that would be bad.
It was during that stage where it was early puberty. Looking back now, I don't think I looked much different to anyone else, but I felt different and I was treated differently.
When I actually became fat was probably about 10 years after that point. But I spent those 10 years just absolutely hating the hell out of myself. And then there's a third point where I accepted that I was fat and where I stopped working against it.
My weight fluctuated, throughout my teens and my early 20s, and I guess I realised again that I was fat in my late 20s when I stopped dieting and stopped fighting my body.
I haven't always been this size, and I think it took my brain a bit longer to catch up with how big I was. I think it was one day of like spotting myself in the mirror and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Being fat on a day-to-day basis, some days it doesn't mean much, and other days it feels kind of like a wall between me and the world.
I think with this question I have to acknowledge the relative privilege I hold as somebody who is like a small fat person. It's not every single second of every single day that I'm reminded that I'm fat. It's when I go to the mall and I can only find 3 shops that stock, clothes that fit me. It's when I, talk to my colleagues and describe myself as fat and they go, oh no, you're not fat. Hun, I am. You're showing me your relationship to the word fat. I'm just simply describing myself.
Some days it matters more than others, but other days it's just reality. Sometimes I just think of my body as the meat sack that carries around my brain.
My relationship with the word fat is fraught historically. I used to use it as like a weapon against myself.
I think for a long time the word fat was able to hurt me, but I don't feel that way about it anymore. I think over time I've learnt to embrace it, learnt to make it my own, and that sort of takes the teeth out of it.
For me, it's a descriptor.
Other people feel like they can weaponize it, I guess, is like the hard part of it. I think it's fine. I think I prefer chubby, but I know that I'm fat, so it's all right.
Is anyone in my family fat? We all are. We all are. I look around and my family is full of like jolly fat people and it's so gorgeous.
My mum is Fijian and my dad is Australian, and on both sides I do, but I think probably more on my Fijian side There's like cultural differences, and a lot of the time fullness means wealth.
My family is a big family in all senses of the word. I mean, that defines everything for me, is that we are strong, big people.
There's a strength in seeing a woman, I think, just not being a thing. You know, it's just a body. It's just them. It's who they are. A strength and a softness. It's beautiful. When does my body feel good? Most of the time, to be honest.
Being in my fat body and giving it some space to breathe and take up whatever dimensions it needs to.
So I feel good in my body when I am dancing with joy. And I feel good in my body when I am moving it not out of hate.
Definitely when I've got a really cute outfit on and the curves are just right, you know that feel. Maybe when you're feeling sore after a workout, it feels good that you've done something strong.
Being in rooms full of fat people that are unapologetically fat makes my body feel really good as well.
I feel good in my body when my mum looks at me, and because I see myself as beautiful, she can see herself as beautiful too.
So I guess my body journey more recently has been about finding space for my body to be what it is and just letting it be, and also finding community, finding the people in similar bodies that make me feel seen and unjudged and even celebrated some days.
When I meet plus size people who didn't have that nurturing of a big family, that really makes me sad. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about what I do and the things I say, because for me, I don't want anyone to feel alone in their fatness, because you're not alone. There's a lot of us. We're working all sorts of jobs. We're doing all sorts of things. And that's part of why I am so passionate about my community, because I don't want anyone to feel alone.